Have you ever been asked by an inquisitive child, how does Santa get into our home? It's an age-old question, especially if you don't have a chimney. Saying it's magic really doesn't work anymore. It's always met with a barrage of, why this or how does that work? Kids today need real answers, believable answers. This past Christmas, I thought about this scenario and determined that there had to be a more modern way to answer this question. A way that would satiate the growing population of technology-aware children. Something that would combine the magic of Christmas with real technology. Hi, my name is Ryan Rutan, and I'm here today to talk to you about my very real idea, the PolarPort. The PolarPort is a simple enough idea. It's a digital gateway that is activated when Santa's sleigh is near and allows him to wirelessly transmit himself and presents into a home with a push of a button on Christmas Eve. At face value, not many people would want such a device. It doesn't do anything practical or smart on a daily basis. This is why I've added a digital naughty nice meter. Using a simple mobile app, parents can connect wirelessly to the PolarPort and assign it to a child. Parents then tell their child that they can see their live status on Santa's naughty nice list. Parents can then control said status using the app on their smartphone. To make it wireless, I thought about Wi-Fi but decided to use Bluetooth instead. It gave me lower power consumption and a simplified communication model, and based on my research, it would also allow me to keep the dimensions and costs of the PolarPort down. The PolarPort also has 3 to 4 RGB LEDs that glow shades of red when a child is being naughty or shades of green when they are nice. Light intensity is used to indicate severity of the behavior, and by surrounding it with a clear acrylic snowflake structure, the device will glow even more. The logic for the light sequences is going to require a small microcontroller and some memory. Now when we get down to this level of detail, I know just enough to be dangerous. I've done my fair share of Raspberry Pi GPIO projects, but that's about it. But after reviewing the Silicon Labs website, it looks like I can get both my wireless and MCU requirements with one of the new Blue Gecko SoC chips. I'm not sure which one I'll need just yet, but dimensions will be very important to me, followed by memory and enough digital I/O pins to control the RGB LEDs for individual sequencing. I'm hoping I'll be able to make this work with this smaller 3.3mm offering. All of this is powered by a simple micro USB interface. Depending on the design, you might be able to use the cable to hang it from a tree, or just set it on a shelf using the snowflake structure as a stand, and if that's your display preference. When I first came up with this concept, there was a major tragic flaw. There wasn't a well-defined audience, since the value was unclear and it was dependent on the PolarPort being believable. This meant that I had to put together a really great story, so I figured what better way to do that than to make a children's Christmas book. I recently just released the first illustrated ebook in a series called The Adventures of the Polar Elf Innovation Squad. The title is called The Polar Crystal Christmas Crisis. In it, a team of young elves led by a young girl elf named Madeline realized that magic isn't enough anymore for Christmas and that it's time to modernize things in the North Pole. The story walks readers through the team's progress from problem discovery, to brainstorming, to design, and to the finished product. And by the end of the story, the team successfully creates the PolarPort and uses a myriad of supporting technologies to get Christmas back onto a path to sustainability. One of my goals in this project has always been to try to keep Christmas believable for kids. I figured that if you could use modern technology to explain how some parts of Christmas worked, it would allow kids to trade some of their disbelief for understanding, and allow themselves to believe in Christmas just a little bit longer. I also thought that it would be a fun platform to introduce real technologies to kids at an early age to solve real-world problems that they could relate to, such as getting me the right toys at the right time and right place. Now, while the story is great on its own, the piece that is really missing is the actual PolarPort. What parent wouldn't want help keeping their kids behaving better over the holidays, or wouldn't want something fun and educational for their kids to believe in? All the pieces to make this work are literally on the table. I just need some electrical engineering help and the right components. And from what I've read so far, Silicon Labs seems to have the right pieces to make IoT for Christmas spirit a reality. Now, for more information about the PolarPort or the Adventures of the Polar Elf Innovation Squad series, feel free to check out PolarPort.com or follow us at @PolarPort on Twitter. Again, my name is Ryan Rutan. You can reach me at @RyanRutan on Twitter. Thank you for your time and consideration.